Hi, M1s. So these are my slides for exploring symbols for our currency creator unit. First off, let's define what is a symbol. A symbol is something used to represent something else. Symbols can be literal or metaphoric. Literal is a word we use when we mean exactly what we say, more of a fact, whereas metaphorical is what we say when we're making a comparison. An example of a metaphoric expression would be if I said it took 1,000,000 hours, meaning it took a long time. Another example could be it's literally 22 degrees outside, whereas a metaphorical expression would be it's as cold as the North Pole outside right now. But now let's think about this in terms of visual language. So literal symbols. Literal symbols are things that have a direct connection to something specific. This can include symbols like recycling symbol, the ambulance sign, the caution sign. They're not open to interpretation, but more set in what they are or mean. Down here at the bottom, the ones on the right, symbols for music or the symbol for mute. A metaphorical symbol is when something is used to represent something else. These types of symbols are not literal and more open to interpretation. The meaning of the symbol could change from person to person and from the context it is shown in. For example, gray clouds could represent sadness to some people or calmness to others. Think about what gray clouds symbolize for you. A sunset could represent things like hope, calm, the end of something eventful, and much more depending on the person and the context. Every time I see this picture, it reminds me of the end of the Indiana Jones movies where Indy always rides off into the sunset on his horse, kind of symbolizing the end of his epic adventure or journey. What is this shape a symbol of? Is your answer a literal symbol or metaphoric? Do we all see this the same, or can our interpretations be different? Can something be both literal and metaphoric? It depends a lot on the context for this. For example, if you saw this on a card, it might be a Valentine's card and symbolize love. If you saw this in the top right corner of a video game, it might symbolize your health. If you change the context, we make the heart black, put a crack in it, put some sad people. It might symbolize heartache or sadness. If you see an arrow through the heart, maybe it symbolizes love, like you got shot by the arrow from Cupid. What are some real life things that we can use to represent things as a metaphor? Think for a few minutes about what these different pictures might symbolize to you. We can pause the video right here, and I'd like to hear what some students infer with these pictures, what they might symbolize to them. So for the middle one, I see a broken clock. For me, that could symbolize clumsiness or maybe just poor time management. The one on the bottom right might symbolize summer for me. Kids out by that pool, the weather's nice, jumping in the pool. The top right one looks like competition, symbolizing a struggle maybe. And the left one, the wolf, might symbolize leadership or strength. So our activity for today, you'll need to come up with 3 very different personal interests or traits about yourself that you can represent through symbols. Represent each interest or trait in 3 very different ways. Then do a simple thumbnail sketch of it for a total of 9. A thumbnail sketch is a small drawing that helps us to think visually, Not super detailed, but simple to help us understand how we draw something if we decide to do it bigger, in more detail. Title the top, Personal Symbolism Exploration, and write each interest or trait. I have some teacher demos. Please do not copy these. These are mine. Mr. Rob's personal symbols. So my first interest is scuba diving. Down in the lower left, you can see I have sketched out a simple diving mask. I've got a silhouette of a scuba diver, and I have a tropical fish sketched at the bottom. My next interest is tennis. I've got a simple tennis racket, got a tennis ball, and the lines of a tennis court. And my third interest is gardening. So I have seed sprouting or germinating. I got a simple silhouette of a shovel, and then I got a really basic tomato plant. So these are my 9 thumbnails for my 3 personal symbols. And this will go in your black sketchbook.